I was once a young, vibrant 18-year-old with a heart full of dreams, like a lot of you out here. And I would think that I was invincible and that I could do anything that I put my heart to. Until one fine day when God decides to flip the script. It was a cold winter morning of December, and I was crossing the road and a speeding truck comes and knocks me down. And there I lay, unconscious, in a pool of blood, with a lot of people around me, yet majority of them refusing to take me to hospital, saying, "We do not take dead bodies." Until few good Samaritans came and took me to the hospital. I still get goosebumps thinking about that morning, and that moment and that memory makes me wonder, should I even be here in this body, on this stage, alive, talking with all of you? And holy airball, here I am, alive, throbbing, talking with all of you, refusing to be small against all odds. When I got the traumatic brain injury, I thought my life was over. And I would keep crying behind those closed doors. And, I'm talking about era before AI and internet. And my dad would write these handwritten letters to motivate me. And one such letter, and he would slide those letters under the closed doors. And one such letter he wrote to me read, "One fall doesn't make one a fiasco." And these were the actual words which helped me rebuild myself. And maybe that's why I'm standing in front of you all today. My story, my story is about finding the audacity to do things which others shame you for trying. It's about finding that sheer grit. And it's about that last leaf of courage we all have in ourselves when life goes completely southways. You know, my story is not just about TBI, head injury, becoming a doctor, or climbing mountains. It's about finding courage in the wreckage. It's about those storms which are supposed to rip you apart. They become the very essence of how they make you strong and how they make you anti-fragile. I was hit by a truck and left to die. But you know what the good thing is? My story doesn't begin there. My story began in the beautiful valley of Kashmir, where I was born, surrounded by majestic mountains, beautiful chinar trees, and nature all around me. My dad, being an avid mountaineer himself, would tell, "What mountains will teach you, no book ever will." I was barely six when my parents decided to take me to the first trek to Amarnath Cave from Pahalgam, and I went there with my parents on foot. And I was mesmerized looking at majestic mountains, gurgling river, and I just knew I was home. I would climb those steepy slopes in these white Bata shoes. If you ask me today, in mountaineering, my shoe costs 50,000 bucks. I'm sorry, but yes, it is. But here I was in those plain Bata shoes, climbing mountains and being such a strong woman out there. This- And this is me with my mom. And these are the moments which helped me build my resilience. And this is a picture. My dad handed me this wooden ice axe. And this became a symbol of resilience on how my life was going to unfold in years to come. I was barely 8 when I was internally displaced from my home in Kashmir due to conflict. The world went on and on while me and my family just went down and down and down. Extreme hardships, lack of familiarity, home gone overnight. And I would keep asking my parents, when will we go back? When will we go back? And till this date, we have no answers. And I would lose my toys, my school, my sense of everything I had. And as I grew up, I actually realized home is not a place for me any longer, but actually a feeling I would carry within me wherever I went. I would never ask any one of you out here to trade the kind of childhood I had. But I just want to tell you that life is not always going to go as we plan. There will be moments where there'll be heartbreaks. And for every bad phase in your life, remember this too shall pass. So when I was going through that phase in my life, I would read books, and one of the books and one of the quotes would read from book. It's called Illusions by Richard Bach. What the caterpillar calls the end of world, the master calls it a butterfly. And with whatever meager resources we had, we continued to live. And, children are extremely neuroplastic, and we would find joy in even the smallest of things we would do. So in Janmashtami, when everyone would be flying kites, we would just grab these polythene bags and just fly them and be happy about it. I would literally steal that 1 rupee because it felt like gold and buy those orange candies and then rub my lips so that, nobody in the family knows I had that orange part. One day, my mother, she put a kidney bean seed on my and my sister's hand, and she told us, like this seed, both of you girls out there, you're full of potential. Feed it with courage, hard work, and watch your life change. She told us to plant that seed and watch it. So, me and my sister, we buried that seed in the ground, and every day we would keep watching, and nothing is happening. We are giving it water in the sunlight. And on the third or the fourth day, a magic happens, and a shoot sprouts out. And we were kids. And we were so ecstatic, and we went to our mother running, "Oh, mom, we see a shoot coming out of that soil." So, my mother told us a very important lesson. She told us, "You may feel right now the world has buried you, but maybe life has just planted you." She told me a seed does not grow in spite of darkness, it grows because of the darkness. She told us that whatever hard phase you are passing through right now, it will be building block of how strong and resilient you will become in the years to come. Life went on, everything was going fine until that fine morning when I was hit by a truck. It led to a traumatic brain injury with multiple issues. I had concussions, contusions, a facial paralysis on my right side. I had double vision. I had fracture of temporal lobe and a lot of other things, which in medical language, there are a lot of things. I had multiple cranial nerve injuries, trigeminal neuralgia. And when after a prolonged recovery in hospital, I went home and I looked at myself. I saw a battered, bruised face. My hair was chopped. I was bald. I just could not stop my tears. And it was the most heartbreaking moment for my life. And I literally thought my life is over. But if I am standing here, it's testament to the fact we can still rise. And right now, as you can see, I am almost okay. But unfortunately, due to that injury, I have lost all my hearing on the right side. So officially, I am immune to negativity and gossip on my right side. Rest left side is perfectly okay. So after that injury, the question was, how do I rebuild myself? Where do I find that strength? Where do I find that courage? We had no ChatGPT to help us, trust me. So I would read these books, I would journal, and then there's this poem, Invictus, by William Ernest Henley, and the lines read, "Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. I am the master of my soul, I am the captain of my fate." And these are the lines which helped me rebuild my life. I studied hard, because I had a double vision. I would put this eye patch on my eyes and go to my tuition and study. I had balance issues, headaches. I was on multiple medication, but still I persevered. And I cleared pre-medical entrance on merit. It was quite a miracle for me and my family, and it was such a bittersweet moment for all of us. I think we cried more than we laughed because we still couldn't make measure that, oh, yes, we did it. And I did my graduation, I did my post graduation, and it gave me chances to work in hospital, to work on mountains, to rescue people not just in hospitals but help in roads, anybody, through everything. So I was working in critical care and as a critical care specialist. So it really gave me a lot of opportunities. And yes, there was an instance where my husband and me were hiking and he got high altitude pulmonary edema on the mountains. And I had to rescue him not just as a climber, but also as a doctor. So, yes, being a doctor also taught me to treat my patients with a lot of empathy because I had been in same boat once. When you see, I've seen everything. I've seen trauma. I've seen so many people dying, and you see it with a very different perspective. But when it's your own family, somebody who nurtured you, it's a very different story. I lost my dad to the same ICU I was working in, and it was a loss I'm still not being able to navigate. And they say grief is a wound with place nowhere to go. And grief just comes in waves. And someday you're just crying, and someday you're just happy, remembering all the beautiful memories you had together. His loss left me with a scar which was far deeper than TBI. And I just felt empty as a human being, as a doctor, and I felt I had nothing to give it anymore to anybody. I did everything. I took therapy, I took antidepressants, I sought help, and nothing really worked. And then one day I was remembering, I went back to nostalgia that one day my dad was taking me to the tuition. It was a cold day. He was hold I used to hold his hands. And as we departed for the tuition, he said these lines from a poem by Walt Whitman: I shall stop somewhere waiting for you. And those lines took me on a journey to icy cold mountains. And that is exactly where I found his eternal spirit. I took a pilgrimage to Mount Kailash on Tibet, a journey of 250 kilometers on foot. And as I was doing a parikrama at almost 19,500 feet, where air is sparse, it was cold, I couldn't breathe, and I could just feel his presence like oxygen in my lungs. And I could feel his presence like he was holding that space for me. I could feel his presence in those mountains, in those alpine glows, in those trembling of wildflower. I could just feel his presence all around me. I went on to do Panch Kailash as a tribute to him. And then I gave a meaning to my climbs. Now, I climb to honor my dad. I climb to raise awareness about traumatic brain injury. And I say I am more than my brain injury. I also raise awareness about mental health. And yesterday was mental health day, and there was a lot of taboo while I was growing up about mental health and seeking help. But remember, it's okay to be not okay. It's okay to seek help. Whosoever, your family, friend, go and talk it out. And remember, for every bad phase, nothing is going to be there permanent in your life. And, every mountain I have climbed is a war cry to all those people who told me, you cannot climb, you're a weak woman, and get off that mountain. So I went on to do these mountaineering courses, my basic and advanced mountaineering course. That's what dad wanted me to do. This is a picture. I was climbing in Ladakh in January. It's minus 35 here. I was frozen to the bone. I got literally chilblains in my hands, but I had such incredible warmth in my heart that it may not make sense to most of you, but there I was. This is me. We just got caught in a snowstorm, and it was after 17 hours. We climbed this peak, Kalanak, in Uttarakhand, and we came back from the summit. And I just wanted some hot piping food. I just love ice climbing. And why do I love? Because it's like meditation for me. It teaches me the balance of holding on and letting go. This is also in Ladakh. So this is me climbing in Ladakh. Again, pretty cold. I'm like, you're literally cold to the bones. And this is as we talk about Ambernath. Last year, I went to the same place where whole of my journey started. Again, as a tribute to my dad. This is Everest Base Camp and free passes. I just did solo. One day I thought I'll pick my bags and just go. This was my first 6,000-meter peak in Ladakh. This is just some posing going on. And then you climb mountains, but then you fail also in mountains. And it's okay to fail. Sometimes you fail in mountains that you're not able to summit due to bad weather. Sometimes it's lack of grit. Sometimes are accidents. Sometimes you have to rescue a team member. And sometimes mountain gods may not want you. So this was one of the major peaks I wanted to climb. This was Amarablam in Nepal. And I was going pretty strong. I would prepare and carry like 30 kg rucksack and do 7,000 uphill floors to prepare for the climb. I would run 30, 42 kilometers to prepare for the climb. But in last 300 meters, I just couldn't go. I don't know. Now I think in retrospect, I think I could have done it. That moment I could not. So all I want to tell you is it's okay to fail. As long as we are alive, we are throbbing, we can do again. The mountains are still there. Anything you're not able to do, it's you don't give up. You don't give up. You don't end your life over this. Because it's time we normalize failure. We normalize that failure is not fatal. But failing is normal and failing is inevitable. Staying down is not. Life will can become hard, exodus can happen, trucks can hit you, avalanches can bury you. You may have a heartbreak. Your heart, brain, body may just fail. But resilience isn't built in victories. It's built in the scars we refuse to hide. Mountains do not reward perfection, it rewards patience and persistence. So I would like to leave you with this thought. If a truck can break my head, and a mountain can test my soul, and grief and loss can tear my heart apart, and I can still rise, then maybe grit isn't rare. Maybe it's inside all of us, waiting for that chance when life says, climb on. Thank you.